Good morning, and it's your girl Anastasia Daniel from HERTRIBE Global. How are you, and how is everybody doing today? Today is Thursday, yes, and before I forget, I want to say Eid al Adha or Barika de Salah to all my Muslim sisters and all my Muslim queens. They're celebrating Salah. I think it was yesterday and today, or if I'm mistaken, please forgive me. Um, so I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Salah, a happy Eid. And today being Thursday, our topic for today is Mary, mother of Jesus, a woman of grace, faith, and surrender. So we've talked about Hannah, talked about Hagar, and I decided to bring one more person. So this week it's not a weekly like thing. I just pick one or two. Today I want us to talk about Mary, the mother of Jesus. And our topic is from chapter 1 to chapter 2. Yeah. It's pretty long, so I'm not going to read it everything now because we don't have that time. But in this Luke chapter 1, you will hear it first talked about John's birth, that was announced by Zachariah. And then we talk about Christ's birth announced to Mary. That's the angel of the Lord visiting Mary, saying, "You're going to have a child," and, and things like that. So, and Mary visiting Elizabeth, and then John the Baptist being circumcised, so many things. Christ then being born, when you go to chapter 2. So, but today, I want us to reflect on one of the most remarkable women in the Bible. Her name is Mary. Mary, the mother of Jesus. I was very specific about the Mary because, this is our Bible. We have so many Mary. Mary of Bethany, Mary this, Mary that. This one is Mary, the mother of Jesus. Our Catholic sisters, we call it the Blessed Virgin Mary. That's the woman I'm talking about. Yeah, I am also Catholic. I have a Catholic background, and I'm sticking with it. I'm not I didn't throw it away. Yes, even though I'm married to a pastor, it don't matter. Oh, we all serve the same God. so, so Mary's story is not just about motherhood. Yeah, when we talk about Mary, the one thing that comes to mind is, oh, she's the one that gave birth to Jesus. But it's not all about that. Our story is one of faith, obedience, humility, courage, and complete surrender to the purpose of God. Do you know what it means to be, you know what complete surrender is? If you understand the story of Mary, you will know that there was a time when she was younger, she was betrothed to Joseph. And at some point, she became pregnant. And back then, that was a taboo. That was wrong. You can't just become pregnant without getting married. And only for Joseph to find out that, I did not touch you. What's going on? She was ridiculed. She was mocked. She was almost killed. They had to leave that place. All right. Her life reminds us that ordinary women can carry extraordinary assignments when they actually trust God. You might consider yourself nothing, but the assignment of God upon your life makes you extraordinary. A lot of people may not understand that assignment of God upon your life. Mary was a woman that was chosen by God. Mary was young. A young woman that lived a simple life. Just like me and you, we are just doing our thing. Just go. She was doing her own thing on her own. If it's my Nigerian friends, they'll say that she did her day. She was just, it's a day in something. Mary was a young woman living a simple life when God Almighty chose her. And he chose her for this one divine purpose. Let's go to Luke chapter 1 verse 28. It says, and having come in, the angel said to her, rejoice, highly favored one. I don't know the version you're using, but this is the version. My version is the New King James, version. That's what I'm using. He said, rejoice, highly favored one. The Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women. Some verse we say, greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you. Blessed, depending on whatever. But just imagine that, my queens, please. When I'm talking to you, just use your brain. Just imagine it. Forget what you are taught in church. But come, sit down as a woman and think about it. Out of all the women in the world at that time, God saw something special in Mary. And it's not because she was perfect, because she wasn't. Not because she was perfect, and not because she was powerful by worldly standards. No. But because her heart was open, her spirit was humble, and she was willing to trust God. Do you know when the angel told Mary that she would give birth to Jesus, her future suddenly became uncertain and overwhelming? Just put yourself in her shoes. Sometimes when you see women going through stuff, please don't condemn them. Just put yourself in their shoes. If you were Mary, how would you have handled it? If you were this woman called Mary, how would you have handled this situation? Like you are in your house and then this angel just show up and say, let me say it the way they say, oh, rejoice, highly favored one. The Lord is with you. Blessed are you amongst women. And then the angel goes forward to tell you, you will give birth to the Son of God. Are you sure you'll still be in that room? Are you sure you will not start calling blood of Jesus? Or when I said her future became uncertain and overwhelming, it wasn't. I was not joking. She could have responded with fear because we're talking about angel. He didn't come like a human being, according to stories. He came as an angel. She could have responded with fear, or she could have resisted, or she could even have doubt. But what did she do instead? She responded with faith. 90% of us will not have faith at that time. In fact, our faith will be thrown out of the window. At that time, our faith will just go pew, out of the window. Let's go to Luke chapter 1 verse 38. It says, then Mary said, behold the maid servant of the Lord, let it be to me according to your words. And the angel departed from her. That was all he needed to, just all he needed to hear. He did not hear, hey, how can this, oh no, me, hey, no, hey, God forbid, I reject it. I'm not, nothing like that. Mary said, behold the maid servant of the Lord, let it be to me according to your words. And the angel departed from her. Hey, my dear queens, this is powerful. Mary teaches us what we call faith. And it teaches us that faith is not having all your answers figured out. Sometimes you find yourself in situations whereby it's like right there, you're just standing and boom, this kind of thing happens. Are you sure you'll be thinking about faith at that moment? We are humans, so do you know faith is you trusting God even when you do not fully understand the journey. In my journey of life, oh my God, I have had experiences that sometimes I just have to say, God, I just have to trust you. But look at me, I'm a human being. I'm just human. But I had to just trust God, irrespective of the outcome. And there's something I always say to myself: the worst is that it will not happen. The other side is it may happen, or is you may say yes or you may say no. That's the only two options sometimes that comes to mind. Mary showed us strength as women. Mary carried great responsibility. Apart from the fact that she was going to bear the Son of God, she carried purpose, she carried pressure, she carried sacrifice, she carried emotional pain. She watched Jesus grow, she watched Jesus minister, she watched Jesus suffer, and eventually she even watched her son die on the cross. Yet, through every season, she remained connected to God. Listen, it takes a special woman to do this. Sometimes when I watch the story of Jesus, the one called Jesus of Nazareth, and I see where he was nailed to the cross and he looked down, he's looking at his mom, he's telling John, take care of the mom or something like that. And I look at the mom and I'm like, woman, I've watched that movie so many times that I said, how do you stand there and you watch your son being nailed on the cross? How? Like, just picture the pain. Picture the pain, picture the crowd, picture what is going on. Your son is there. It hurts. But she had to carry that pain. Mary's story reminds women that strength is not always loud. Grace can exist alongside pain. And also, her story teaches us that when you surrender to God, it produces purpose. When you surrender to God, it produces or it brings forth purpose. But have you asked yourself, in all this, let's go back to the beginning. Why did God choose Mary? Why Mary? What did God see in Mary that made him choose her? I will tell you what God saw. God saw purity of heart. God saw humility. God saw obedience. God saw faithfulness. God saw spiritual strength in Mary. So, my queens, that same God who saw purpose in Mary still sees purpose in women today. He still sees your potential, your prayers, your quiet strength, your willingness to keep going. Even when others overlook you, God sees everything. Everything. So what are some of the lessons that we can learn from Mary today? Number one lesson, God can use ordinary women for extraordinary purpose. That's number one thing you must know. You might consider yourself as nothing as a woman. I don't have figures. I don't have this. Who am I? Stop saying that. God does not look at that. God can use ordinary women for extraordinary purpose. It might be you. So never underestimate your assignment. Never you underestimate it. Number two, the second thing you can learn from this story of Mary is that faith requires trust. You may not always understand God's plan immediately, but you need faith and you must trust God in that your journey of faith. Number three, humility is powerful. Mary remained humble despite carrying greatness in her. Some of us, even if we accept that, oh, we're going to carry the Son of God, we will use it to be doing pepper them gang. We'll be bragging. We'll be using it to do nonsense. And even the whole world must have known. Mary kept it. Mary was humble. Mary was humble about that, this whole journey. Number 4, obedience opens doors to purpose. So, enough for you to be able to carry that extraordinary purpose, you have to be obedient. Mary was obedient. She surrendered to God. You know, when they told her, she just accepted it. Like verse 38 says, behold, the maid servant of the Lord, let it be to me according to your words. She obeyed whatever the angel said. And she did not argue. Surrendering to God often leads to divine impact. You have to surrender yourself to God. Then the last one, grace carries women through difficult seasons. We need grace. You know that song that says, give me grace to follow, abundant grace to follow. I need your grace to follow. Your grace is enough for me. You need grace. You need grace. No matter your assignment, you need God's grace. God's grace sustained Mary, and it still sustains women today. That God's grace is what is sustaining you and sustaining me. You and I, we need grace because the journey is not easy. Before we go, our affirmation for today, I want you to say to yourself, I choose faith, humility, and trust in God's purpose for my life. I choose faith, humility, and I trust in God's purpose for my life. Say that to yourself today. And before we go, I have just one encouragement for you. Mary's story reminds us that God often places greatness inside women who simply trust Him, right? So you do not need to have everything figured out today. So what you need to do is you need faith to trust God. You need courage to obey God. And you need grace to keep moving forward. Because the same God who walked with Mary still walks with you and myself. So, and your life, your life we're talking about, carries purpose beyond what you are currently seeing. Your life carries purpose. So what can you do for me today, my queens? Keep trusting God. And I remain your girl, Anastasia Daniel from HERTRIBE Global. Have an amazing Thursday. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.